Good evening, ACU Wildcats. I am Zathras, and I'm here tonight with a special new Hearthstone Esports thing to watch tonight. Tonight, ACU will be entering in our first endeavor into Hearthstone Battlegrounds Brawl. And it looks like we are diving in here real quick. I'm by myself tonight, so you're going to have to bear with me just a little bit as we get some of these things settled. There's a lot going on here tonight, and so we are excited to get things going. And one of my spectating is not working, so we're going to dive in just a second. There we go. All right, I'm going to switch over to our new and exciting dual stream spectator view. There we go. All right. So for those of you not familiar with Hearthstone Battlegrounds, the way this works is we have 8 people, all in one brawl. And tonight you're going to see on bottom the Admiral himself. You've seen him spectating with me, playing, and he is playing the a hero that allows him to give a friendly minion Divine Shield. So the way Battlegrounds works is each round you have some gold to spend, you can buy minions, you can trade things in, and you at the end of your buying round, you go into a battle round. So we're about to go into the battle round right here. You're going to see combat come in for both players. Right, there we go. So you can see how the creatures, the minions that you summon, automatically attack, and at the end they add up the tier value of each of those minions and use that to deal damage to the opponent. And then everyone starts with 40 health and works their way down until they are removed. Unfortunately, this view doesn't really give us a great view of their health. It was kind of quickly put together. I'll try to get a better view so we can see both, but we can at least see the minions on board and what's going on. After round 1, we find the Admiral in 6th place, and we find Yeet, who is our other player. Y'all might be familiar with him from both Hearthstone and our Smash Brothers team. He is actually our Smash Brothers coach. He finds himself in 5th place, just ahead of the Admiral. But early games don't matter quite so much in Battlegrounds Brawl. It takes the first couple rounds for folks to establish themselves, get out what kind of theme they're looking for. I happen to know Yeet tonight has typically enjoyed the Murloc or Demon build. So you see he's actually switching over to a mech build here in turn 3. So turn 3, Yeet switching over to mechs. And establishing a pretty decent board, especially for turn 3 here on the board. Meanwhile, the Admiral down bottom still trying to decide what he wants to spend his 5 gold on. He's got 2 beasts out, and he's going to go ahead and switch over, drop this pirate here, give it Divine Shield. So this particular Yo-Ho Ogre, after it survives being attacked, it will attack immediately. So throwing a Divine Shield on that is not a bad choice. Part of Battlegrounds, you got to play what you get. There isn't really good synergy with his 2 cats on board, so getting that pirate in there gives him something to do. All right, going into combat here. Yeet on the top, going through with a tie here, so no damage either way. We've got a loss coming in from the Admiral, taking some 2 ship damage, but again, early on, that damage really isn't that big of a deal. It's really later on where you want to make sure that you've kind of snowballed into a bigger board. Gonna pick up the Scavenging Hyena here, as well as the Spawn of N'Zoth. That Spawn of N'Zoth will provide a buff to the minions in play when it dies. You'll notice him positioning that at the far left there to get maximum value for that death rattle. Next, he picked up the Scavenging Hyena there that's going to get bigger as these 2 1-1s, or eventually 2-2 kitty cats die. That Scavenging Hyena gets super excited and will be a lot harder to kill for the opponent. And meanwhile, on the top, Yeet is expanding with his own Spawn of N'Zoth there. Got a little pirate action and elementals. He's kind of all over the place right now. Hasn't really stuck somewhere. Now, there is something to be said about diversifying early so that later on you have more options available to you depending on what you get. None of these are bad minions on board, so gives them something to do here. We see... all right. The Admiral looks like it's likely to be a loss here. Meanwhile, Yeet on top is almost certainly going to be taking this win. So Yeet dealing out 7 damage to Bree, which is one of the opponents they are playing. Meanwhile, we see the Admiral dropping into the bottom of the race at the moment, not having quite picked up a lead yet. Not a great board for the Admiral here. There's not any super good options. He could upgrade and refresh to see if he can find something better. That would give him only the option of grabbing whatever happens to come up, and he would have to trade in one of these 1-1s. It looks like he's going to refresh first. Still not getting anything super amazing. We might see the second Spawn of N'Zoth taken here. He's got enough variety that, well, no, he's only really got 2 variety. So the teacup's not really likely to come into play. But we could see the death rattle here from the 2-2 death rattle here. Okay, so he is going to go with the jug and follow it up with the Spawn of N'Zoth, just getting a wide board, something to start doing some work here. Meanwhile, Yeet on the top here is building a little more into that mech build, getting a second one of those bombs out there. The Admiral coming in with a much better play here. We see pretty much a guaranteed win for the Admiral this particular round. In the meantime, we're going to see if Yeet can pull it off here. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be a loss for Yeet, but not a whole lot of damage. He's got only 1 minion left on the board, so he's going to take 4, go down a little bit, but meanwhile, the Admiral picking things back up. So the way this is scored is you get points based on where you finish. Whether you finish 1st or 12th, you're going to get a certain number of points. And as the tournament goes on, you want to generate more points than your opponents. All right, so Admiral coming into turn 6 with only the 2nd tier. Really, ideally, you would want to see a higher tier by this point in the game. He really hasn't had a lot of good options to play with. I really think he needs to go ahead and get that upgrade in and see what lies beyond this paltry hand. Meanwhile, the Admiral making a golden bomb here. Now, golden minions are special. When you get 3 of a kind, they combine and become a double of whatever that minion is by default. And they generate let you discover a minion of a tier higher. So in this case, he was able to discover a 2/6 Avenge, adding random demon into your hand. So really diversifying here. Admiral showing up here. Not a really great chance here. We're looking at about a 76% chance to lose here, 5% chance for a win, and about 70% chance for a tie. No, I'm not that good at numbers. I've got some data crunching computers helping me out with this. Unfortunately, I don't have that same number crunching happening for Yeet at the moment, so we're going to have to just watch it and figure it out as it goes through. So it looks like Yeet taking another loss here, but a small one. So another 4 chip damage there. Same with the Admiral, taking another 4 chip damage. They are really looking and needing to establish some sort of better theme here. They've both got fairly diverse boards and are really needing to find something that they can land more heavily on. I think the Admiral is in desperate need of upgrading here. He is way behind on tier value. You'll see he just jumped up to 3. Meanwhile, the Yeet is already on tier 4 minions. With what he's got here, I could see turning in the Elemental to grab maybe even Elemental and a Rat. Oh, no, he's going to go ahead and refresh there. Pull out the Elemental. So it looks like he's trying to switch over to more of an Elemental board. Elementals are really good, but ideally you really want those Elementals significantly more early on than we've got coming out here for the Admiral. Elementals can be great long-term, but just need that ramp up over time as you create more Elementals. Meanwhile, Admiral, still with a little more of a diverse board here. You've got a couple of mechs, a pirate, an Elemental, a N'Zoth. Oh man, these Elementals are exactly what the Admiral would have liked to have seen. Right. Another significant chance for a loss here by the Admiral. Meanwhile, Yeet, going against a heavy Reborn team. All of these minions are going to come back several times. And then you've got one of the things about the Reborn team is it's playing into this Bird Buddy, where every time a minion dies, those kitty cats are becoming more and more dangerous. They're sharpening their claws. Meanwhile, we're gonna come out with a tie by Yeet, which is not a bad place to be. All right, the Admiral digging here, trying to find something to make this board relevant. That Elemental is not a bad pull. It'll put another Elemental in play. He can probably drop this Pirate to generate 3 gold. Maybe, yeah, drop the Pirate, generate 3 gold, grab this Elemental. That'll give you more buffs coming in from those party Elementals, and maybe starting the train rolling a little bit. At this point in the game, though, he's going to need to move quick through some of these tiers to get up to relevant Elemental options for him, like Major Domo Executives, maybe a Light Spawn, Nomi Kitchen Nightmare. These are all things that really help your Elemental deck, but you need to get to them early because the longer you have them, the better things are. And if you get them really late, it's too late to buff your Elementals and really get motion happening on this board. Meanwhile, you can see Yeet with his falling a little more in line with the mechs here. You've got the death rattles abound here. All right, the Admiral coming in with a guaranteed loss here against the Windwalker himself. While Yeet is going against another mech heavy deck here, so even that Amalgam in the middle is really a mech, and this mech build, which is really good, relies on these those first guys where every time another mech is summoned in combat, they get Divine Shield, so they can continue to buff up and be really annoying. So Yeet going down a little bit. So unfortunately, we've got ACU in 7th and 8th right now. We'd like to see them pick that up. Unfortunately, they're just having trouble landing somewhere. So we do get the third-party Elemental, which is great, but I think we might be a little late on getting these Elementals out and getting the Elemental ball rolling here. I think he needs to drop this Stasis Elemental and grab whatever is coming up. He's refreshing through things, and that elemental there is really nice to grab, but so he's able to pick that up. He's going to drop the stasis, which will allow him to have another elemental on the board that will stick around to next turn. It's just a Celemental. I'm going to go ahead and use the banana on the pirate, which I'm not sure that I feel great about either. If you're going to go down the elemental route, you really need to stick to it, and you really want those first molten rock elementals to start going crazy. An ideal elemental build ends up with molten rock elementals that are just huge. Realizing that y'all may not have any sound going on here, so let's let you hear some of the sounds coming from the Admiral's board here. All right. We got a lot going on here. Things are not necessarily looking overly great for the Admiral here. Don't have a good metric on what's going to happen here because we don't know what that secret is. The secret plays a lot into things, but this is going to be lights out for the Admiral, and so we're just going to have Yeet left in the match. Unfortunately, he is hanging out at 7th. We're going to go ahead and cut over to him here.
Don't take it too hard. There are 8 players, but
bring that volume down just a smidgen for you. All right, so Yeet is on his own. He's got this mech build kind of coming together here, but there's not really a whole lot happening that is super, super exciting. He's still hanging out with his spawn of Nozoth that's just going to give things +1/+1, which at this stage of the game isn't overly overwhelming or great. These Mechano eggs are going to summon big robots, but against some of these enemies that he's seeing, those robots are not going to last very long. So he needs to find some, or he needs to start getting something bigger here. He's made his way all the way to tier 5, which is great. That'll give him some opportunities for some additional nice minions. Kangor's Apprentice comes to mind. Where it'll death rattle to summon some things back up. Well, I think this is going to spell doom for Yeet today too. See, when I was talking about the elemental deck earlier with the Admiral, this is exactly what I had in mind. So you'll see here, all of these minions are huge. They've been buffed over time. They got going early, and so you have a massive Master of Realities here that's just gained the benefit from all of the others coming in for a nice landing here. So unfortunately, neither Admiral or Yeet really landing the plane on this match today. So they're gonna take this first round to heart, and they're gonna come back to it, review what they did, and come up with a strategy for next week to get things going. Well, if you blinked, you missed it. That's one of the things about Battlegrounds is it's quick. So if you have no excuse for not watching the whole thing. You should absolutely tune in next week when we do the same thing again, only hopefully a little longer and landing a little farther on top. In the meantime, please check things out on Friday. Oh, not Friday. This week there will be no Wildcat Weekly. It is our fall break. University will be closed, and so will ACU Esports. So enjoy your 3-day weekend this week, and tune back in Monday night for both Hearthstone and Rocket League. We've got a double feature happening. It's going to be super exciting. Then next Wednesday again for Battlegrounds, and then we'll be back into our normal rotation of Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday will be our Smash Weekly as we usually have it. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and go Wildcats.